on the tail end of the line here. Again, about 150, maybe 200 people marching east on Washington Street, coming into the 400 block just after 5th Street in the city. Traffic to the west going slow but unimpeded. Traffic to the east still stalled and creeping along behind this crowd. And if you're just joining us live, this is a protest in downtown Marquette in regards to the George Floyd murder. The officer involved in that in Minneapolis, Minnesota, charged with third-degree murder. The chant here, Black Lives Matter. As people march, they're heading to the post office, according to one marcher, in regards to gathering there. What they'll do at that point, we'll have to wait and see. I'm in about the middle of the group here as they chant Black Lives Matter. There are no police in the area. They seem to have left the protesters alone in regards to carrying on. This is a peaceful march and protest. No incidents yet. People along the sidewalks from businesses or homes coming out showing their support in regards to the protesters coming into the 300 block.
No justice, no peace. No racist ass police. 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 No justice, no peace. No peace. No racist ass police. No justice, no peace. No racist ass police. No racist ass police.
We are here at the Marquette County Court, the Marquette Federal Courthouse, where gathering is taking place. They seem to be stopping, and all the protesters seem to be coming out into the intersection that had gathered at the post office. Now they're joining together and are continuing to march east on Washington Street into the 100 block. Probably picked up another 50 or more protesters, marchers, so the crowd's swelling to about 200. We're in the 100 block now of Washington Street heading east. Again, this is a protest rally, march, showing support for justice, Black Lives Matter, in regards to the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis, Minnesota, who was murdered allegedly by a white police officer. He's been charged, not convicted, of third-degree murder. Continue to march east. They are turning around now.
Stop shooting my brothers and sisters!
Again, that's head of the group. We are now heading west again on Washington Street, coming up on 3rd Street by the post office. They are now gathering in the middle of the intersection on Washington and 3rd Street, holding their signs. The parade has stopped, the marching has stopped. Traffic is stopped on all 4 corners. Speaker is drawing people off the street, out of the intersection, bringing them off the area. They're now kneeling. In silence. They are now starting to walk south on 3rd Street toward the Commons. The chant, what do we want? Justice now. Again, there's probably 200 people here, a wide variety of ethnic backgrounds. The majority of the people are young. No police presence at all. It's peaceful, no problems.
Police on average kill 4 people per day. 20,000 people have been killed by police since 2005. There have been just over 90 charges, just over 30 convictions. Police officers kill with a conviction rate of 0.15%. And civilians get charged with homicide at a rate of 90%.
That's the voice of one rally or one marcher here at this rally. Again, we're heading south on 3rd Street.
No justice, no peace, no racist ass police.
No justice, no peace, no racist ass police. No
Again, traffic, as you just saw, unimpeded. It continues to move south, heading up to the area of the Marquette County Courthouse. Now, there were some people out of this group that split off and stayed at the Marquette post office. They remain gathered up there talking with somebody in regards to that issue. We continue to head south. Any idea where you guys are heading? Okay, is there any reason you know why the other group is staying back at the post office?
No. I think just more exposure probably.
Okay. Again, we're marching here on Washington, or on South 3rd Street. They've just turned on Barriga. One of the protesters saying they're heading for the Marquette City Police Department, which is just another block up from where we are right now. I'm kind of cutting through here to catch up with them on the courthouse grounds. They seem to be stopping in front of the sheriff's office here on Barriga. Again, we're here at the Marquette County Sheriff's Office. About 150 protesters, marchers have stopped. Again, this is Steve Asplin at the Marquette County Sheriff's Department. We're following protesters and marchers, about 100 strong, marching through downtown Marquette and now here in front of the Marquette County Sheriff's Office, chanting Black Lives Matter, George Floyd's name, who was the black man who was killed allegedly by a white officer kneeling on his neck. As a result, protests, some more violent in other cities around the country, erupting here in Marquette. This has been peaceful, even though it's impeded traffic at times. For the most part, very peaceful. Traffic has been allowed to pass. Everybody's being respectful of everyone's rights. There is no police presence. No police are here or visible, even though the Sheriff's Department is right behind me. And the City Police Department is a block over. Again, the majority of the people here, the vast majority are young, various ethnic backgrounds.
Marquette Police, do you support violence? We need to know, are you going to speak up and speak out, Marquette Police Department? Flint has joined. Will you be next?
This is a nation issue, not a state issue.
We might not face it here, but it's a real threat around the world.
This is like a shame that you guys said nothing to the people of color that live in Marquette. We're scared. You guys have said nothing.
Are we a part of the community, or are we just standouts that you guys see?
I don't feel safe enough to leave my house unarmed.
A moment of silence for all the people that have died by police brutality or racist white.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Stop killing my brothers and sisters!
Stop killing my brothers and sisters!
Stop killing my brothers and sisters!
Again, this is Steve Asplin reporting live from a protest rally on Baraga and 4th Street in Marquette. This is a protest in show of support of justice and Black Lives Matter concerning the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis by the hands, allegedly, of a white police officer.
They know that we all can come together. The police department can come together as well. We all can come together as one, as a community. That's the only way that things are going to change.
Everybody here now joining hands together.
Say his name. George Floyd. 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 I want everyone to go around and give a reason why they're here. I am here because I have nieces and nephews. They're gonna grow up one day. They're gonna have to face this world. I'm not gonna always be there to protect them. I want to be able to walk around this world with their head held high, not wondering if someone's gonna come up to them and approach them and attack them or call them out of their name. I want to be able to walk around here strong with their head held high. That's why I'm here.
Because I know hundreds of families personally who have lost loved ones to the police with no justice, and I'm here to support them. So shout out to all of you guys, especially you guys in Minnesota. If I could be, I'd be there with you.
Come on, guys, speak up. This is your moment.
I'm here because this is my community and the lives of my community matter.
I'm here because White silence is violence.
I'm here because Spider-Man said, "Fuck racism!"
I'm here because I should have to teach my 9-year-old sister to love her skin because people at school and all over the fucking social media are telling her to hate her skin, her nappy black hair. It's not fair to us black people in the United States. Something has to change. We are people just like you.
Apologize for the foul language.
I'm here because I'm fed up. Enough is enough.
I'm here because the white community needs to stand up for their brothers and sisters, and white men specifically need to show up. And because the white community colonized this country, and they have a civic duty to readjust and make this a community, a nation for everyone, regardless of race, sex, gender, etc. This is a home for the world, and white people need to speak up for their loved ones that support each other through thick and thin.
White silence is white violence. Police homicide is one of the top 10 leading causes of death for all men in this country.
The Bible says to separate from the Caucasian man. This is exactly why we're suffering. Ain't no other nation suffering like we suffer. So-called blacks and so-called Hispanics have been being killed by your kind for over 400 plus years. The only remedy that we have is to separate from you devils. The Bible speaks about you and it speaks about us. And the only remedy is to separate from you devils. You hear me? Yeah, take a picture of me. That's the only remedy that we have. All this marching, that ain't gonna save us. It ain't save us from Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, all the leaders. They all got killed. But guess what? The next leader is gonna get killed. We've been getting raped, robbed, and murdered for 400 plus years. We don't need to hold hands with you. We need to separate from you. That's the only cure that we have. You are a cancer on the earth. You go all over the earth, rape, robbing, and murdering everybody. And it's okay. But we can't even march and say our lives matter. It's a problem. When the cancer and the effect is you. You are the murderer. You are the devil the Bible speaks of. Okay? My people, we are innocent. We've been raped, robbed, and murdered all our lives. And now we stop here to listen to what? To more shit. Well, we used to march back in the days of antiquity. Guess what? We went to war. We didn't hold up signs and all this bullshit. I'm ready for war. I'm ready to go and kill a bunch of you devils. I hate you, just like you hate me and my people and my children. I hate you. I want to bash your children with the fucking stones.
No.
Again, apologies for the foul language. Yeah, other people in the crowd saying they're coming together.
We are peaceful, and we will not let. I love my white sisters and my white brothers. I love you
Peace
all.
about
Don't matter what
equality.
your race is. I love you.
We're here for you. We're here for you.
Hey, so I want to say something about all the people who have a problem
That's
with
all right. We
rioting.
love you.
Rioting and looting are literally nothing more than a symptom of a broken system.
We love
Buildings
you.
can be rebuilt, things can be
We
replaced,
love you.
lives cannot be restored.
because the Marquette
Rioting and looting can be completely prevented if elected officials simply do their jobs. It's their
I'm
fault.
here
They can
because every
prevent
time
it.
I
All the
call
violence
the
is
people,
state
I
sanctioned.
don't want to be afraid that they're going to be a victim of police brutality.
I'm here to end systematic racism. Think of the fact that time and time again there's proof and nothing gets done.
Nothing is done sitting by and not helping.
Again, apologies for the foul language.
This isn't an anti-rally, Trump.
I'm sorry, Trump, but I'm not the black or other people or any of that. I'm Kaylin Franklin, okay? I'm not going to be considered the blacks or those people or the thugs. I have a name.
Say
We
our
have
name.
names. We're people.
Say our name. Say our name.
Say our name.
Say their names. 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 Say their names.
Marquette County, when I'm in Walmart, don't ask me if my hair is real. Don't ask me if you can touch my hair, okay? Because you would not say that to a white woman. Do not ask me that, Marquette County. My hair is real, and no, you cannot touch my hair. Thank you.
That tells us about how you love our culture, but yet you hate us individually.
I want to call out Officer Justin Schleibach, who murdered Timothy Mitchell in Alger County in 2014 and faced no penalty.
Yeah.
I'm here because we need to build a world without war, poverty, racism.
I'm here because silence is betrayal.
I'm here for police accountability.
I'm here for systematic change in the criminal justice system.
I'm here because Thomas Jefferson said that every man is free, but when he said that, he had two something odd slaves. So tell me, have they ever been free?
No. This has been a slave nation since 1492.
I'm here because I was silent and ignorant for too long, and it's embarrassing and barbaric.
Because the war on drugs is the war on people of color. I'm here because we need to band together and spread love, not hate. I'm here because we're not free until we're all free.
We're not free until we're all free!
We're not free till we're all free.
We're not free till we're all free!
We're not free till we're all free.
We're not free till we're all free!
That couldn't be everyone. Speak on it.
I'm here because if my brothers and sisters can't breathe, I can't breathe.
I don't want to be afraid of a simple traffic stop.
I want to jog while being black.
Yeah.
I want to escape the dystopia.
The murder of black women, children, and men is disgusting.
without justice.
In that order.
We have asked for peace. We have asked for justice. We've received neither.
We were nice. This is us being not nice.
I'm here to redeem my 4-year-old self that got called a nigger at school. Didn't know what it meant.
I've been called nigger at school and I'm not even black.
I'm here for the names we talk about and those that we don't.
I'm here because social media is not enough.
I'm here because we need to hold police accountable. This blue line is to die. This cannot keep getting swept back under the rug.
I'm here because Black Lives Matter. I'm here for the mothers that lost their children.
I'm here for justice and peace.
I'm here to fight racism in Marquette County.
I'm here because they're still not out here.
Marquette County Police.
Where are they?
It is Sunday.
They work on Sunday.
Well, then get them out here.
I saw one cruising out here. I know they're out here.
I'm here because Marquette police told me they wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Houston, North Dakota, Florida, California, all those cops came out and marched with us. But Marquette Police Department came.
Flint cops went out yesterday and marched with them. I called the cops last night, the Marquette Police Department, and asked why they didn't come out. They said it doesn't concern them.
attorney is deciding whether or not homicides are criminally chargeable.
I want a government for the people, by the people. For everyone.
I'm here because no mother should lose their own child.
Especially not by someone sworn to serve and protect.
Here to advocate for community-led safety. This is my community. I'm here because I'm sick of government-sponsored murder.
I'm here because, sorry, Marquette County Police, this is your problem. This is a problem for all of you. You guys should be out here with us.
Yeah, there have been justice. Shane Black is a state police officer who killed a community in 2014 in the county. So they have killed a community. Multiple times. There's another fellow that got killed a couple years ago.
All right, let's march. We'll be back tomorrow. And every day until something changes. Sorry, not sorry.
No justice.
No peace. No racist ass police. No justice. No peace. No racist ass police. No justice. No peace. No racist ass police. No justice. No peace. No racist ass police. No justice. No peace. No racist ass police. No justice. No peace. No racist ass police.
Again, this is Steve Asplin reporting from the site in Marquette on 4th and Barriga, in front of the Marquette County Sheriff's Department, where about 100 protesters, marchers rallied, talk about the injustice at the hands of police, how they see it, in reference to the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis at the hands of a white officer. Again, now we're on 4th Street heading south through the right lane of traffic. Marchers are continuing the chants. This is in the city of Marquette. It's been a peaceful march. We were in front of the Marquette County Sheriff's Office, the Marquette City Police Department, just to our west or left. At one point during the march, they did ask for police officers to come out, none did. There has been no police presence here at all. A vehicle trying to get around the crowd here as we continue to march north now on 4th Street toward Washington Street. This march has been going on since about 11:20 Eastern Time. We first started at the police department. They marched up to Washington, then west on Washington Street to about the Marquette Co-op, turned around and headed back east on Washington Street, heading east then to the 100 block of Washington, turned around there, gathered for a short time in silent prayer in the intersection of 3rd Street and Washington, then continued to march south on 3rd Street. And a segment of the group, about 50 or so of them, split off and stayed at the federal courthouse, U.S. Post Office, to have a rally and discussion there. Again, there's no idea where this group is heading. They said they wanted to go back and start marching again, which is what they're doing as we head north on Washington Street, or north on 4th Street toward Washington Street. My correction there. It's been a peaceful march. Again, no police presence. Passerbys honking and waving in support. There's another one right there. Some people with drums joining across the street. We're now heading east on Washington Street in the eastbound lane, blocking traffic. Peaceful march as everybody heads in that direction.
Pretty proud of these kids. You know that? Speaking their mind, but they're doing it right.
Yep.
A little bummed that the police didn't come out, but on the other hand, I tell you, yeah, that, on the other hand, I don't believe the police. I believe that they're afraid. They're trying to keep peace. And yesterday, during the protest, when the police showed up, people got very angry. They're not going to stop. We're not going to stop. It's crazy. You know? What happened was wrong. And we want the police that to stand up. And just say that they're wrong. You know, not all of them, but they're human like we are. This is an awesome protest in Marquette.
So what do you see by this? Is this something that you're in favor of? Do you like how it's going? Do you like how this is progressing?
I do.
And why?
I'm proud of these kids. Yeah, I am. I don't think that there's any reason to get violent. I don't think there's any reason to destroy Marquette property. I think that they're using their rights and doing it the right way. You know, I'm glad because we don't want Marquette destroyed. We do want justice. We do want justice, but we don't want Marquette destroyed. So good for these kids. You know, good for all of us.
All right, thank you. We're now at the intersection of 3rd Street and Washington. They are basically blocking traffic again in all angles. Traffic has come to a stop. Traffic has stopped, some of them in support of what's going on here. Others just trying to get on their way. Excuse me.
George Floyd! 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 George Floyd!
you gonna kill me? Are you gonna kill me, dude? He said, fuck me. I said, fuck him.
Separate from the enemy.
We want peace. 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 We want peace.
Hey, yo!
So I just got some footage of my one.
Thank you. No, I'm good.
I was gonna say I ran home and got this for you.
I'm good.
I've been
Thank
watching you on the phone.
Thank you.
Do you want to? Hey, I brought you a hat to wear.
Oh, thanks. Right now, the traffic is being allowed to turn south on 3rd Street. Traffic to the east is still blocked by the crowd here. The intersection of 3rd and Washington Street in Marquette. It's been peaceful. There were a few tense moments there between one resident in the area and also somebody who was on the side yelling and screaming, some of them profanities. Right now, though, everybody seems to be peaceful. Nobody seems to be in any rush. Everybody seems to be going okay. Traffic is moving in other lanes. Right now, they're just marching and chanting. This is 3rd Street in Marquette and Washington intersection. Again, this is Steve Asplin reporting live at these protests of Black Lives Matter in regards to the death of George Floyd. Again, the majority of people here are young, the majority of them wearing masks in regards to the COVID-19 edict. For the most part, downtown Marquette is pretty empty. I don't know if people are standing right on purpose or they just see the crowd and turn around. I noticed one car had done that. But for the most part, it's peaceful. Protesters allowing people to get by on the traffic lanes. And there's even some protesters that are directing traffic, being respectful of what's going on. Again, there were a couple of tense moments earlier. There is no police presence here. They are void from this entire event that started at 11:20 Eastern Time and marched down to Co-op, then also down to the county courthouse and the sheriff's department, and then back up here to the intersection of 3rd and Washington. Again, they're just gathering and chanting in the intersection of 3rd and Washington Street. Make my way across the street here to the front of the group.
George Floyd! 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 George Floyd!
Stop killing my brothers and sisters.
Settle down. Can I speak with you?
Stop killing my brothers and sisters.
Speak with you on camera? Just for after everything calms down?
I don't think you want a white male voice to
Why want to get out? I want to get a cross section.
What do you want to know?
Just basically why you're here.
I think you should interview some of our African Americans.
I will. I want to get the leader, but and the gal too. If you could, like, I'd like to get a cross section just so that people understand it's not just one group out here, and everybody stands together.
I can't breathe. 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 I can't breathe.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no police.
No justice, no peace. No racist ass police. No justice, no peace. No racist ass police. No justice, no peace. No racist ass.
Again, this is Steve Asplin live in Marquette at the corner of 3rd and Washington Streets, in front of the post office, federal courthouse. Where there's probably about 150 people gathered protesting the George Floyd death in Minneapolis, asking for equality for both races, that Black Lives Matter, the injustice they feel that's at the hands of the police. So far it's been peaceful, no problems. Traffic has been blocked, but motorists have been able to get around, going in other directions. There were a couple of tense moments earlier, but those in charge of the rally kind of put those down, separated the people, and there was no problem. Again, there's no police here, no police presence, and there hasn't been since the beginning. Again, they're asking to end police brutality and justice for all. This has been going, marching or stopping and rallying like this since 11:20 this morning, Eastern Time. And right now, we're at 3rd and Washington Street as they continue to chant. How long this will go on is unknown. Right now, they say they will be back tomorrow as well if needed, and they feel they'll be here marching, rallying until justice is satisfied and everyone is treated fairly. There have been some profanities. There are some signs here, and we apologize for that. There's no way we can get around that since some of them are right in the front. Again, this is day 2 of these protests in Marquette. Yesterday's was at the city police department, where there was a confrontation with a Marquette police cruiser and an individual. But that again was quickly put down by those in charge of the rally. Traffic moving again without problem here. Back and forth. Almost saw an accident there. Obviously, some people, some support of the protest rally here, going by showing their support, honking their horns. Others very upset by this and the inconvenience this is causing. Sorry, I just put the camera down. Somebody asked about blocking traffic. They are, but motorists are able to get around okay. And most, if not everyone, that's coming into Marquette is avoiding this intersection. So I notice there's more traffic to the west and east of this intersection. With people coming through here are either on a bicycle or very few cars. Most of them are turning before they get here, like the cars up the street here. They are turning left or right, not coming down here to the intersection of Washington and 3rd.
Speak up!
Again, my apologies, I picked up the camera. It's been going on for about an hour and 40 minutes. Marching around 6 blocks, 7 blocks, maybe close to 10 by the time you count them all up, between going north and west and east on this rally. They have vowed to be back here again if they need to tomorrow and every day beyond that for justice. I did talk to one marcher if they felt that there was an injustice by the Marquette City or County Police and law enforcement and Sheriff's Office. They said it was something they wanted equality and justice for all everywhere. So not necessarily a situation here in Marquette, but they're marching in solidarity with the others around the country. 111 cities experiencing some type of demonstration, protest, or riots in some communities last night and into the overnight. Today, this one has been peaceful. No police presence at all from the start right through to now. They are still blocking the east and westbound lanes of Washington Street on the west side of that intersection. And they're doing that. And it doesn't seem to be a problem for motorists as they avoid the area. And the motorists that are coming east on Washington Street, they are being allowed to turn right, as you can see there. Protesters are managing the traffic themselves, being respectful. Again, no violence, no damage, no issues. A few tense moments between a motorist and also a bystander earlier, in which they exchanged some words. Organizers for this rally, the main speakers, stepping in to calm the situation, separate the parties, and the motorist and the person left. So right now, everything looks and acts as if it's peaceful with no problems. Again, this is the city of Marquette. Steve Asplin reporting live here. Don't forget, we'll have a lot more of this story tonight on your TV6 Late News at 11 Eastern Time. Also on our website, uppermichigansource.com. How much longer this will go on, nobody seems to know. For today, however, like I mentioned earlier, they said they will be back tomorrow and every day beyond that as necessary for equality. Again, we're at 3rd and Washington Streets in front of the southeast corner of the U.S. Post Office and Federal Courthouse. This protest has about 100 to 150 people standing around chanting, as you can hear. Everything from George Floyd's name, who was the black man that was killed in Minneapolis with a white officer kneeling on his neck.
say, please make sure you get the anti-protesters and just expose them. Because due to the Darth Vader mask, it's not being cool right now.
We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! We want justice!
Hey man, he took his mask off. Why did he get hit?
We want justice! 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 We want justice!
courthouse.
Hands up! Don't shoot! 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 Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Hands up! 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 Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Hands up! 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 Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! No justice, no peace, no racist police. 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 No justice, no peace, no racist ass police. No justice, no peace, no racist ass police.
After things have calmed down.
No peace,
Yeah.
no racist ass police. No justice, no peace, no racist ass police. No justice, no peace, no racist ass police. No justice, no peace, no racist ass police.
I'm good, thank you.
No justice, no peace, no racist ass police. 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 No justice,
no peace, no racist ass police, no justice, no peace, no racist ass police, no justice, no peace, no racist ass police, no justice, no peace, no racist ass police, no justice, no peace.
This is Steve Asplin reporting live at the corner of 3rd and Washington Street by the Marquette Post Office and Federal Court Building. Protesters shouting Black Lives Matters, Black Lives Matter, justice for all incited by the George Floyd incident in Minneapolis. The situation right now is calm. These protesters have been marching and walking and rallying in spots such as this location right here since 11:20 this morning. We started at the police station, marched up to Washington Street, and then headed down Washington Street to the Marquette Co-op, turned around and came back to the 100 block of East Washington, then turned around and went back down 3rd Street up to the Marquette County Sheriff's Department, where they held a rally and spoke there for about 25 minutes, and then continued to march back to Washington Street to this location back at the post office again. They've been here for a while. This again starting at 11:20 a.m. Eastern Time. It's now, excuse my turning of the camera, about 1:15 Eastern Time in the afternoon. This has been peaceful, no police presence at all throughout this entire event. They have been peaceful, they have been respectful. There were a few tense moments between motorists and this bystander. Those were quickly put down by those involved in organizing this rally and march. And they continue to speak out for black rights, Black Lives Matters. White silence incites white violence. That's their message. This will continue for some time. I'm going to have to sign off, primarily because I'm running out of battery power on my phone. So as a result, we'll sign off here. Again, there'll be much more of this on your TV6 Late News tonight at 11 Eastern Time, 10 Central Time. Join us for that. Also on our website, uppermichigansource.com, and the TV6 and Fox UP Facebook. Again, I'm Steve Asplin, reporting live in downtown Marquette, the site of a rally in light of the George Floyd incident and death in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Right now chanting George Floyd's name. Again, all this having to do with racism and Black Lives Matter. For now, I'm Steve Asplin. Have a good afternoon.